Looking to the south at Dead Horse at 1:11 p.m. and I couldn't help but notice this very strange looking cloud that appears here. I just backed up a little bit and then going forward, boom. So I decided to blow it up, and that's what we get. And then when I hone in on it even closer, that's the object. Doesn't quite look like a cloud, does it? Don't know what it is, but it certainly isn't a cloud. I'll just play around with the contrast a little bit. And the brightness. Very peculiar. This is looking good, looking to the southeast at 9:14 a.m. and progressing forward. And we can see that the sky is lit up. And then we have this. This, to me, looks like it could be the brown dwarf. And I say that because as we progress forward, this object does not seem to rise. It seems to actually go away. So I thought as that it is appearing above the ecliptic for just a short period of time, and it's either obscured or it dips down below, which is what we see all the time. Because we do have white up here, and quite frankly, the brightness on the trees and everything doesn't really seem to be affected by this object coming up and then going down. That was a corroboration to the last one I just showed you, and this is Eagle looking southeast, and we can see here what looks like it could be a brown dwarf because we have so much white light here and over here, and we'll just progress through. And that seems to disappear below the ecliptic, while the white light maintains its position in the sky. So I'll just back up a little bit. On a normal sunrise, we would expect to see this thing continue to rise up, not go down. This is Eagle looking to the west at 9:32 a.m. And as we progress a little bit, we see some very yellowish clouds here. And I couldn't help but to notice this object, as it looks very flying saucerish. So I decided to enhance it a little bit, see what it looks like. It just doesn't look like your typical cloud to me. Just thought it was interesting to show. And then as we progress, we're going to see this. And typically the sun would move this way, but this seems to go to the left. And then it's gone. meaning it is in the retrograde movement, which would not be part of our regular solar system. And then when we move to the northwest, our little friend over here, I guess it is traveling to the northwest. Let's see, where is that? Right there. So here it is. I don't know, it looks like a flying saucer to me. Oh, here we are at Tuvok Pass, looking to the southeast. And yeah, there's definitely some strange, going backwards right now. I'll go forward now. Some strange sun movement and so on and so forth. But what caught my eye was whatever the heck that thing is over here and that. So let's pull them up. There you have it. Some strange looking objects. So let's go back to there. And once again, we can see that energy that I often see on these objects. They just don't look like clouds. Pretty strange. And here again we have an anomalous looking object there. And sure enough, when I enhance it a little bit, we see those round orbs with the hole in it, looking like a Dyson sphere. And I think this is a group of mechanically operated devices. I don't really have any other explanation for it. It's not a cloud. Once again, very peculiar. Here's a very interesting scenario. We're looking to the south at Ambler, and we're going to see the sun essentially rise twice. Okay, sun just came up. It's 11:38 a.m. and it essentially sets, or at least goes down. And then we're going to see it essentially rise again. That is pretty bizarre. So I'm going to go backwards. Okay. Go all the way back. All right. Okay, that was backwards. We'll go forward. I find that to be anomalous. How about you? Okay, looking to the south at Kiana. This whole thing is just a mess. So we can see we've got some light there coming through. It would appear that the sun has already risen at 10:38, and in checking that area, it should have already risen. And then we see something pop up down here at 11:28. And then boom, at 12:08 we have this. $12:38, $12:48, $12:58, 1:08 p.m., 1:18, 1:28, and we see some type of object up there. I don't know if that's just a little flare or something, but don't recall ever seeing the shape of the sun like this before. $3:38 p.m. Okay, so go back here a bit. And I enhanced this one a little bit. Sure looks like an orb here. Almost looks like some type of a Dyson sphere here, possibly here. Oh, that was my other weird object. Just a very bizarre sequence of photographs. I mean, this to me looks like a couple of different objects. For sure. You know, the more I looked at this particular frame, the more I realized that there was way more going on here than what I saw previously. So here's that frame, and when I do different color enhancements or whatever, I think we've got a lot of things going on here. Not that I have explanations for them all, but you know, some different contrast and brightness puts a different perspective on what's here. And I just don't think that one light source could possibly do this. Would you not agree? And at Ambler, I'm noticing the same phenomenon where the sun appears to rise. See, it's 10:28 a.m. At 11:28, right? The sun's coming up. Oh, sun goes back down. Or does it? Hard to know for sure. Seems to rise again. Going backwards. Pretty odd. Okay, this is looking to the south. This whole thing is just weird. I mean, you would think, that this was the sun, perhaps, right? Then it kind of dissipates. And then we see what looks like should be the sun. It goes from, I'm going to back up, like kind of yellowish to white to huge. We have the black dot, which says the sun simulator is now in effect. Notice it does not have a round shape to it any longer, indicating it is the simulator. And then the simulator gets turned off, and there's our regular sun, I would suspect. But there's no way that this is that. Oh, man. Just tell us exactly what's happening. And then we can see all kinds of little orbs and strange objects and things up here. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for watching. January 25th, 2017, looking to the south at Dead Horse at 1:11 p.m. And I couldn't help but notice this very strange looking cloud that appears here. I just backed up a little bit, and then going forward, boom. So I decided to blow it up. And that's what we get. And then when I hone in on it even closer, that's the object. Doesn't quite look like a cloud, does it? Don't know what it is, but it certainly isn't a cloud. I'll just play around with the contrast a little bit. And the brightness. Very peculiar. This is living good, looking to the southeast at 9:14 a.m. and progressing forward. And we can see that the sky is lit up. And then we have this. This, to me, looks like it could be the brown dwarf. And I say that because as we progress forward, this object does not seem to rise. It seems to actually go away. So I thought as it is appearing above the ecliptic for just a short period of time, and it's either obscured or it dips down below, which is what we see all the time. Because we do have white up here, and quite frankly, the brightness on the trees and everything doesn't really seem to be affected by